All right, so today I figured we go through some of these examples that are in your book. This is on page 204 in the Course 2 book. Um, we'll just go through it and, hopefully some of these will make a little bit more sense, but you're still following the same rules, right? All the stuff that we've talked about the last couple days with our adding integer rules, with the Santis. If you are looking at your addition problems, the first thing that you got to look for is your signs. If they are the same, two positive or two negative numbers, you add the absolute values and then you keep the signs. So a positive plus a positive is a positive. A negative plus a negative is still going to be negative. Okay? Now, on the other side, if you have different signs where one number is positive and one number is negative, they are different signs. You subtract the absolute values, you take the smaller from the larger, and then the second step is to keep the larger. Whatever you have more of in your question is going to be the sign of your answer. So if your question has more positives, if the bigger number is positive, your answer is going to be positive. If your question has more negatives, if the bigger number in your question is negative, your answer will be negative. So keep the sign of the larger. That's telling you all the good stuff you need to know. Again, it's all over. I'll keep it over here in the corner as we go through some of these problems. Okay, so if you look at this, it says find -3 plus -2. Now, if we look at this problem, -3 plus -2, those are the same signs. A negative plus a negative, we know it's going to be negative, right? You do 3 steps back plus another 2 steps back. You end up 5 steps behind from where we start. So if we look at here, -3, you go down 3, and then you go back 2 more, you end up 5 behind where we started. Or if you follow those Santis, which we have right here in the corner, same signs, we add 3 and 2 is 5. Keep the sign, they're both negative. It is a -5, right? So there you go. Let's go down here a little bit more. Try some of these other problems. Again, these are all same signs right here, right? So we're looking at these friends here. Same signs, add and keep the sign. A, -5 plus -7. Same signs, we add 5 and 7, that is 12. They're both negative. My answer is -12. If we look at B, I got -10 plus -4. Same signs, you add 10 and 4, which is 14. A negative plus a negative is always a negative. So it's -14. And we look at C here, -14 plus -16. We add 14 and 16. That is 30. They're both negative. That is a negativo 30. All right. Now, let's look at some of these with different signs. Again, different signs, you got different set of rules. You're actually going to be subtracting the absolute values, and then you keep the larger. Okay, so next page in your book here. Give us a couple examples. Here's some with different signs. So if we have 5 plus -3, you go 5 forward, which is 5 to the right here. Start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 back. We go 3 back from there. 1, 2, 3. We end up here at +2. And again, if we follow the rules, simple rules, right? 2 steps. You subtract the absolute values. Now, the reason we do that is because we eliminate those that cancel each other out, right? That offset each other. If you go 1 step forward and 1 step back, you're going to be right back at 0. So those really, we eliminate those that do that, right? We eliminate the ones that counteract each other. So that's why we subtract the smaller from the larger. So you do that, 5 minus 3 in this case, which gives us 2. Now the second step, keep the larger, means we find out which number, which absolute value is bigger, 5 or 3. So in this case, 5 is bigger than 3, so whatever the sign of 5 is going to be the sign of our answer. So since 5 is a positive, your answer is +2. All right. Looking at the next problem. Negative 3 plus 2. So in this case, we go 3 negatives, 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. And you go 2 positive, 2 to the right. So I go back 1, 2, and we end up here at -1. Just following, again, if you love the number lines, great. If you love the counters, that's great as well. Whatever works for you. -3 plus 2, different signs. Subtract 2 from 3, which gives you 1. Keep the larger. 3 is larger than 2 since it's negative. Our answer is -1. And again, when I talk about counters, this is what I'm meaning. So if I have 3 negatives here, 1, 2, 3, and I have 2 positives, 1, 2, okay? Now, these friends right here counter each other, right? 1 step forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward, 1 step back, and what we're left with is 1 negative, okay? All right. Let's do these 2 problems here. D, 6 plus -7, different signs, subtract and keep the larger. 7 minus 6 is 1. Now 7 is larger than 6, and since it is negative, our answer is -1. If we look at E, -15 plus 19, different signs, subtract, we get 4. We keep the larger, we look and see what's bigger, what's absolute value is bigger, 15 or 19. Since 19 is a larger number, whatever the sign of that is going to be the sign of our answer. Okay, so the first step tells you what operation to do. The second step tells you what is the sign of our answer going to be. Where do we get that sign from? So in this case, 19 is bigger. Since it is positive, our answer is +4. All right, so let's try a couple from another page in your book here. Again, it's all out of your book. Let's go to this page. Let's see. We got page 209 if you want to follow along at home. But it's got a couple good examples there for us. It's a good mixture of different types of problems. If we look at this, 13 plus -19. Again, look at your signs. I got a positive, I got a negative. Again, these parentheses right here, all right, that is nothing to be scared of. I know we talked about PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and the first P stands for parentheses. And some of you think, hey, we got to do what's inside parentheses. But within the parentheses, there is no operation. There is nothing to do inside the parentheses. All this is doing right here is signaling that, hey, I am a negative number. You know, that's it. So there's nothing that you have to do as far as the parentheses go. It's just to make it clear that, hey, this is a -19. So I got 13 plus -19. Follow my rules. Santi says different signs, you subtract. 19 minus 13 is 6. We keep the larger. Let's see what's bigger. 13 or 19. 19 is bigger since it's negative. Our answer is -6. Okay. Now, when you have some of these problems, like so, maybe. Come on, dang. There you go. With 3 different integers. All right, it's no problem. And again, anytime you are adding, order doesn't matter, right? I don't care if it's whatever, right? 5 plus 2 or 2 plus 5. The order doesn't matter. That's, as we talked about, the commutative property. When you add and multiply, the order in which the numbers are sitting doesn't affect your answer, okay? So in this case, you could do it any way you want. I got a -4, I have a 12, and I have a -9, okay? Whatever way you want to do it is fine. You're going to end up with the correct answer. So you could do it a bunch of different ways. You could do you could do both of your negatives first if you wanted to. You could do, you know, as you go across from left to right, right here. It doesn't matter, all right? So we'll just do that as we go across, just for some of you. -4 plus 12. We look at those, and again, we're going to ignore this plus -9 here for a second. We're just going to do these, and we're going to bring it back into the picture. Okay, so just do 2 at a time, and then do the third integer. That's all it really takes. So -4 plus 12, different signs, subtract. 12 minus 4 is 8. You keep the larger. 12 is larger since it's positive. I have a positive 8. Now, to that positive 8, we are going to add that -9. All right, so that's it. We just bring that into the picture. 8 plus -9, different signs, subtract. We get 1. We keep the larger. What's bigger, 8 or 9? Since 9 is larger, and it is negative, our answer is -1. Okay, so hopefully, when you see those with more than 2 integers, it's still the same situation. Nothing else changes. It just kind of freaks some people out initially. So hopefully that's going good. There is a new Google Forms up. Hopefully I did it right this time. I think I did. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If you got any issues, anything, let me know. Watch your Santi videos and follow all your rules. And there you go. Same signs add, different signs subtract, same signs keep the sign, different keep the larger. See you later.